And now from our studios in downtown Winnipeg, it's time for 107 Live.
Live in the Classic 107 studio, you just heard Virtuosi Young Artist Elisheva Schwartz performing some music of Johann Sebastian Bach. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me here.
Well, thank you for being here. We were talking when you were warming up outside the studio, just how wonderful it was hearing that music of Bach and a live performance of Bach in the morning. It just starts the day off right.
Yeah,
it really does.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming by the studio. And obviously, you're a talented player. When did you start playing the cello?
I started when I was 5 years old, actually.
And why the cello?
It wasn't actually my decision. It was more of my mom. She really liked the cello, and we had a friend who played cello, so it was kind of just, I got forced into it, but then I ended up being really happy that it happened.
It's nice when it works out that way, right? A little bit of gentle encouragement.
Yeah.
So you mentioned your mom encouraged you to pick up the cello. You come from a musical family?
Sort of, yeah. My mom plays piano, but my dad never really played any instruments, so it's kind of more from my mom.
And so he gets to enjoy the music around him. Do you guys perform
Yes.
together a lot?
Yeah, especially when I was younger, we did all kinds of things, and sometimes like Winnipeg Music Festival, my mom would accompany me. Yeah. But now, as the rep gets more challenging, the piano accompaniment gets more challenging as well. So it's gone down a little bit. But
yeah, it's got to be nice though when you do get together and perform together with your mom,
Yes.
whether it's at home or maybe it's at a concert or something like that.
Yeah.
It's always nice, performing with your family members.
Yeah.
Can you remind listeners how old you are, Elisheva?
Yeah, I'm 15 years old.
And already a virtuosi young artist. That has to feel pretty good.
It's a really cool experience. It's something that's super awesome, and I'm so glad I get to be a Virtuosi Young Artist.
I think, you really hit the nail on the head. It really is awesome. And it's such a wide range of artists, too. I mean, there are players in their early, mid-20s in university, and then here you are at the other end of things. Can you talk about how you got to where you are today at the age of 15?
Yeah, sure. So as I mentioned, I started when I was 5, and it was a little bit of a rocky road up until maybe the age of 11, as it is for most young musicians. You don't really want to practice when you're 6. But yeah, then I joined the Winnipeg Youth Orchestra, and that really helped things. When I was, probably around 11 to 12, I started to really, really enjoy it, and it's just gone well from there. And I also have a lot of very influential role models in Winnipeg, different like cellists or just string players or musicians in general that have kind of paved their own paths, and it's something that I can look up to and follow a lot.
Like who? Do you want to give them a shout out?
Yeah. Well, specifically for cellists, I know David Liam Roberts has been here, and Juliana Moroz. I think they were both Virtuosi Young Artists as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just a bunch of string players as well.
You mentioned the Winnipeg Youth Orchestra, and I think there's a video of you on YouTube performing The Swan from Camille Saint-Saëns' Carnival of the Animals, and it sounds absolutely great. Do you get the opportunity to perform a lot of solo work as well as kind of collaborating with others?
Yeah. Well, that's funny that you mentioned that. That was, I guess it was like 11 there. But, so mostly it's orchestra, and I am in a few chamber ensembles, but I am really glad when I get to play solo as well, especially for different concerts and things. It's a different experience on both ends, but yeah, they're both great.
Yeah. So you were 11 in that video?
I think so, yeah.
It's absolutely awesome. I just came across it and it was like, look at that. So I need to ask, I mean, you've given some shout out to some people a little bit older than you, kind of paving the road. Who are you studying with right now?
I'm studying with Yuri Hooker currently.
Nice. Mm-hmm. And how long have you been with Yuri?
Just since this fall. I did study with him when I was younger, maybe for a few years when I was like 7 and 8. But yeah, before Yuri, I was with Desiree Abbey, who has recently moved to Ottawa. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I just joined again with Yuri up in the fall.
So what's that? What are you working on right now? I mean, like you're a 15-year-old player. You're still working on, I imagine, so many things, expanding the repertoire, the technique. What are you concentrating on these days?
Yeah, so the Winnipeg Music Festival just passed, which is a big thing for a lot of young musicians, especially string musicians. And that was something I was preparing for the months leading up to that. Now I'm actually preparing for an ARCT exam in June, which is through the Royal Conservatory of Music. So there's a lot of rep for that. Yeah, that's kind of the main thing I'm focusing on.
Yes, Winnipeg Music Festival. I remember it well. I mean, a big deal for string players, for singers too. And I mean, like it is an experience. One thing that I didn't do was an ARCT. What kind of repertoire are you tackling for that?
Yeah, the ARCT is it's 4 different styles of music that you have to play. And so, like, for example, if you played a sonata, you wouldn't just play one movement, you'd play 2 movements. So I'm playing a Beethoven sonata, I'm playing more of a Canadian modern piece, and I'm also playing some classical music. It's kind of all around. Yeah,
you kind of get to explore the whole repertoire just to show you as an artist. So speaking of seeing you as an artist, you're opening for the Rolston String Quartet this Saturday. Mm-hmm. Are you looking forward to playing before the concert?
Yes. Oh my gosh, so much. Yeah, the Rolston String Quartet are just absolutely amazing, and it's kind of crazy to think that in a small way I'll be sharing the stage with them beforehand. So yeah, it's definitely a very exciting thing for me, and I'm so excited to play.
And I'm sure audiences are excited to hear you. I have one last question for you. What are you going to be performing on Saturday?
Yeah, I'm going to be playing the third movement from Gaspar Casado's Suite for Solo Cello. It is a very energetic Spanish virtuosic cello piece, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fiery music too. That Casado is just like, it's excellent. There's a lot to dive into, so I think audiences are really going to enjoy it. Elisheva, thanks so much for coming by the studio.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Well, it's been a real pleasure to have you here. Elisheva Schwartz, the Virtuosi Young Artist, who opens for the Rolston String Quartet this Saturday, April 6th, 7:30 p.m. at the University of Winnipeg, Eckhart Gramate Hall. For more information, you can visit virtuosi.mb.ca or classic107.com. Or keep tuned, because I've got some tickets to that show to give away.
From our studios in downtown Winnipeg, you've been listening to 107 Live, Classic 107's Intimate Concert Series, the soundtrack for your life.